Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening. First tonight, the latest NAPLAN results released today show Tasmania is still languishing near the bottom of the pile for education outcomes. The Teachers' Union says while the test isn't a perfect measure, it's a sign more investment is needed in Tasmanian schools.
Tasmania's NAPLAN report card is in, and it paints a worrying picture of our schools. In most measures, Tasmania only ranked higher than the Northern Territory for the number of students at or above the national minimum standard. Years 5, 7 and 9 students performed slightly better in writing performance. The state government says the data shows long-term gains in literacy, also lauding our results in reading.
Our commitment into the education sector of record funding and employing more teachers and staff wherever possible is absolutely backing in the state's commitment to improve the outcomes.
However, it continues a long-term trend in our placing. Tasmania entrenched as the second worst performing state.
We need to see the government pull out all stops to improve literacy in our young people to give them the best chance at success in life.
We know that our teachers and support staff in schools are doing a great job, but when they are hamstrung by resources and class sizes, etc., we need to do the best we can to help them out.
The department's latest annual report shows 271 educators left the profession last year, a rise of nearly 50%. And there was a similar increase in the number of stress leave claims.
Quality time is what is key, to make sure you can actually prepare engaging lessons so you can give feedback to students.
The state government says it has literacy and numeracy framework in place, as well as resources and professional learning opportunities. Josh Duggan, 7 Tasmania News.
A Tasmania police officer has been slapped with multiple charges following a crash which claimed the lives of a mother and son on Brinktop Road in Penna earlier this year. The 26-year-old will face a magistrate's court in Hobart in December on 2 counts of negligent driving causing death, as well as driving whilst disqualified. The female constable has been stood down from duty. Australia Post will be used to identify mobile phone and internet black spots next year. Announcing the idea in Launceston, the federal government says some or all the Postal Service's fleet will be fitted with special devices which will measure signal strength around the country. The data will help the government work out where upgrades are needed.
This is novel, but we see this as an important way to get value for money, leveraging off a national asset in that Australia Post fleet.
$20 million is being put towards the audit. Energy Minister Guy Barnett has celebrated the sale of Basslink, saying new owners, APA, plan to invest heavily in the cable. He inspected the site today with Hydro Chief Ian Brooksbank, saying it will play a key role into the future alongside Marinus.
Importing electricity when it's cheap, and therefore it helps us manage our storages and efficiently use the hydro system we have.
APA have made it very clear that they want to invest in Basslink and in Tasmania. They're very confident about the future.
Tasmania's energy storage is now 2 to 3% above the prudent storage level after heavy rains in the past fortnight. And that wild weather has continued. Gale force winds lashing southern Tasmania today, making for choppy conditions on the water. Gusts of up to 90 kilometres were recorded in parts of the state after the Weather Bureau issued the severe warning yesterday. More than 1,500 homes were hit by power outages as a result of trees coming down. TasNetworks is working to restore the issue tonight, but we're told to brace for more rain. Some northern towns remain on flood watch. Tasmania Police is urging owners of illegal firearms to use the amnesty and hand them in or face hefty penalties. It follows a joint Federal Police and Border Force operation last week, with 19 illegal weapons seized across 2 raids in the south of the state. A police-issued Glock pistol and a replica gel blaster were confiscated, which police say could have ended up in the wrong hands.
People are of the view that, well, I'm not going to do anything illegal with that firearm, but that's not the concern. The concern is that those firearms end up in the wrong hands.
2 men have been separately charged with various firearm offences. The headstones of 6 Tasmanians who served our country during World War I have been unveiled to ensure their memory lives on forever. It comes as the federal government dedicates more than $1 million to veterans who were previously unrecognised.
standing united to remember those who made the ultimate sacrifice in the battlefield. A service held in their honour today to mark the years of dedication. The names of 6 Tasmanians read aloud and now forever etched in stone.
For any family, it's a form of closure for them. We like to think that what we do is the final act of remembrance for these men.
The new Veterans Affairs Minister was in town to make it official, reiterating his government's budget spent to continue acknowledging the unmarked graves of those who served.
These grants are going to be available to individuals and not-for-profit organisations around the country to make sure that these people who fought for our country in our First World War are properly recognised.
The state's Headstone project has already helped commemorate hundreds of veterans, but with an ageing volunteer base, they need support for more hands on deck.
Our team members, except for one, are in their 70s or older, and the physical work is getting too hard.
There are still many returned First World War veterans who have been laid to rest in unmarked graves across the nation, with research showing that number could be as high as 12,000.
The full extent of that is not really fully known, and that's why the work of community organisations like Headstone Project here in Tasmania is so important.
Grace Evans, 7 Tasmanian News.
An important program bringing smiles and calmness to children undergoing medical treatment has launched its annual fundraiser. The Clown Doctors Appeal will travel around the state this week with donations welcomed at roadside collection points.
Clowning around, putting a smile on the dial of everyone they meet.
Sunshine, my only sunshine, you make me happy.
Tasmania's Clown Doctors at the heart of the Humour Foundation's 16th appeal, joined by the Riverside 10 Voices Choir to launch the annual fundraiser. But it was the kooky and colourful Dr. Saurus Rex and Dr. Wingett who stole the show.
Up, down, flying around, looping the loop and defying the ground.
The pair part of the state's northern team providing laughs to our children's wards.
Hearing from people afterwards that you've made a difference is a fantastic thing for us as performers. It's really nice to do a job that gives back.
The best part about the program is meeting families and seeing their laughter in one of the most, its families are in their most vulnerable position, and it's so lovely to be invited into their rooms.
Turning a scary situation into a light and bright experience for sick children and their families.
You can see their faces light up straight away, like it's instant.
They say laughter's the best medicine, and that's why volunteers will take to the state streets this week, collecting donations roadside, rain, hail or shine.
Our aim is to raise $50,000, and that will go towards helping keep funding for our program into the future.
There's always place for humour, even in the darkest of times.
McKenna Bailey, 7 Tasmania News.
Hobart will be awash with harmonies this week, with the city playing host to a festival celebrating barbershop music. The 4-day festival bringing local and interstate bands here, paying tribute to the quirky style of performance.
A group of singers in tune on and off the stage. From Beatles classics to beautiful ballads, Hobart's Deep South Chorus sing from the same hymn sheet about their shared passion.
The depth of harmony that you get and the musical interpretations that you can get out of having no accompaniment is just exquisite.
I enjoy the chords that we create, the exhilaration, the energy that's there when we sing together.
The group fine-tuning for the Barbershop Harmony Festival, the event celebrating the unique style of music across dozens of gigs.
Singing everything from the beautiful and poignant through to the quirky and comical. It's a range of music.
You can do covers of these songs you might not hear the words of normally, and you just hear it so crystal clearly and the harmonies just come to life.
Renowned a cappella band The Velvetones, led by Tasmanian Stephanie McCorkle, one of the headline acts.
She's sung at some very high-profile things, including Anzac Day celebrations in both Gallipoli and Belgium, and the Edinburgh Military Tattoo.
The event also expected to have the local tourism sector singing for joy, with hundreds expected to travel from interstate and join the Deep South Chorus here on stage. The other big performance is the chorus contest. Deep South, one of 19 battling it out for the prestigious title.
Looking forward to the contest?
I cannot wait. I cannot wait.
The festival begins on Wednesday. John Hunt, 7 Tasmania News.
Some of Tasmania's sharpest snappers are about to share their work with the best in the world. The Northern Tasmanian Camera Club will enter the top tier of America's most prestigious digital photo competition, giving exposure to local landmarks.
This camera click could be one click away from international fame. Their photos of the wild's wonders, taken day and night, are about to go up against the best in the world.
I just love being out there on my own in nature's glory.
From lavender farms to light showers. It's images like these the Northern Tasmanian Camera Club will submit to the Photographic Society of America, which has invited the group into its A-grade division for the first time.
It really has to be the biggest photo competition in the world for camera clubs.
And one of the team's top shots, Rod Oliver, could be onto a winner, recently timing a trip to Cataract Gorge as a kayaker was testing the waters.
When he got out of the river and came up onto the walkway, I showed him the photos, and then he said, "I'm going back," so I got him again.
The team will compete against 26 of the world's best camera clubs once they submit their images in a fortnight. The global platform also showcases Tasmania in, arguably, its most brilliant light.
For me, it's getting up early in the morning, walking into the wilderness and being there for sunrise at Cradle Mountain or somewhere like that.
A small sacrifice for a huge reward. Tom Johnson, 7 Tasmanian News. Tasmania's Jordan Silk has produced one of the great batting performances in the state's history, putting the Tigers in the box seat in its Sheffield Shield clash against Victoria. His near runner ball 154, helping Tasmania make 535 against the Vics. The Tigers lead by 140 runs going into day 4.
Day 3 was moving day for Tasmania if they wanted to beat Victoria. Opener Tim Ward also had a century on his mind, but on 91 he found trouble.
To Ward, he's got the missed outside edge from Ward and he's gone.
The weather playing havoc as rain briefly halted the game. Jordan Silk looked to add scoreboard pressure, but lost McDermott shortly after lunch for just 23.
McDermott's bowled straight through the middle peg. McDermott lifted his head.
Tim Payne made a quick-fire 24 before Mitchell Perry sent him back to the change rooms. And when Bo Webster was out for 6, the game was in the balance. Silk and Jared Freeman, however, took control, giving the crowd some catching practice along the way. The duo had the wind in their sails, blasting 119 runs for the 7th wicket.
He swings long and hard and wide into the onside.
5 4s and 3 6s helping Silk to a smooth century.
And there it is. What a way to bring up 100 by hitting the ropes. A sensational innings.
Eventually making 154 off just 161 balls. It was a Halloween horror story for Victoria. The Tigers eventually out for 535. Victoria making a cautious start to their chase late in the day, but they have a mountain to climb to save the match. John Hunt, 7 Tasmania News.
In the Hockey One, the Tassie Tigers have survived a penalty shootout to keep finals on the cards. Tasmania's goalkeeper saved the last shot of the day in regular time against Perth to keep the game tied up at the whistle. It took a marathon shootout to split the two sides. Jeremy Edwards finally broke the deadlock to win 7-6.
And Jeremy Edwards gets the win draw for the Tigers in one of the most incredible finishes we've seen.
The women's side lost 3-0. The teams are back in Hobart to face New South Wales on Friday. Tasmania has been dumped from the Super Netball fixture. The Collingwood Magpies had played at least one game a season at Launceston Silverdome since 2017. Tasmania's Jake Birtwistle was promoted to second place in the Noosa Triathlon after one of his rivals was disqualified. It was a fast race with winner Charlie Quinn and Birtwistle both breaking Craig Walton's 1997 course record in Noosa. On the bike, Launceston's Lauren Perry enjoyed back-to-back wins in the Women's Open Criterium. And defending Ironman Series champion and Tassie-born Matt Bevilacqua has dominated the opening round of the Summer of Surf at Woolgoolga Beach in New South Wales. After finishing the board leg at the front of the group, he maintained his strong lead in the swim section before widening the gap on the ski. Bevilacqua was unchallenged out the front, setting himself up for a stellar summer. And that is how we finish Monday Night Sport, Kim.
Good evening. 23 was the state's top today in Hobart, Launceston 18, 17 across Burnie and Devonport, 19 in St Helens, Strawn 15 and 22 in Flinders Island. On the close-up, a mix of low, middle and high cloud covers Tasmania. Further out, extensive middle and high level cloud extends from the eastern states to a low to the south of Tasmania. Tomorrow, a trough will cross Tasmania, directing a cold southwesterly airstream across the state. West to southwesterly winds tomorrow, 15 to 25 knots, swells up to 3 metres in the west and south and up to 1 metre in the north. A strong wind warning is current for the east of Flinders Island. Flood warnings for the Macquarie, South Esk, Meander and North Esk rivers, and a bushwalkers weather alert is current for the Western and Central Plateau forecast districts. Tomorrow's forecast now, showers developing about Hobart and Adventure Bay, 10 in Tarraleah. In the north, showers developing in Launceston, 15 about Devonport and Bridport. 13 in Burnie tomorrow, showers across Strawn and Marrawar. St Helens and Swansea, showers developing, and 14 in Whitemark. The UV forecast is high 7s across the state. Looking ahead to the 3-day forecast now, Wednesday, showers about the west, far south and Bass Strait Islands. Thursday, showers across the west and far south with gusty west to southwesterly winds. And Friday, showers about the west and far south, clearing in the afternoon. Capital cities, 22 and partly cloudy in Perth tomorrow. Showers in Adelaide and 14 in Melbourne. And currently Hobart partly cloudy and 13, Launceston mostly cloudy and Devonport mostly cloudy and 12. And Kim, you've got some news on the weather front.
Yeah, that's right, Jackie. We're just getting our details that Elephant Pass on the state's east coast has been closed. Tasmania Police say a tree and fallen power lines are blocking the road and traffic is being diverted through to St Mary's via the Esk Main Road. The public is asked to avoid the area. And that is all your news for now. I'll be back later with updates, but we leave you tonight with more of those wild conditions that have hit the state today. Thanks for joining us. Stay safe, everyone. We'll see you again tomorrow.